Keep in mind they're going to keep information close to the vest, but it is very possible that they do not know as much as we might think they know. This is not a television show.
I finally found something worth reporting on. So here I am. Nobody's here yet. Hopefully somebody will be here soon. That gives me a chance to play with my stuff, which is fine. Then I can do some different things. I'll be right back in here. Alright, where was I? Hold on, I'm lost now. Come back. Why isn't it working? There we go. Hello, YouTube land. Hi. Here I am. I found my way back. One person's here. Oh, good. My cat is messing with my lighting, so you're just going to have to put up with that. There's good stuff today. Yeah, we're going to watch it. Okay, let's go picture. Oh, God.
Police Department, thank you for your continued diligence on this story, and thanks for your patience. As you know, the Northport Police Department has worked collaboratively with the FBI throughout this investigation. So Special Agent Michael McPherson is going to make a prepared statement. There's not going to be any questions today, but hopefully it answers some of them. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael McPherson. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI Tampa Division. As you're aware, the FBI and the Northport Police Department and our state and local law enforcement partners have been searching the area of the Carlton Reserve for Brian Laundrie, a person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. Earlier today, investigators found what appears to be human remains, along with personal items, such as a backpack and notebook belonging to Brian Laundrie. These items were found in an area that up until recently have been underwater.
So it is.
Our evidence response team is on scene using all available forensic resources to process the area. It's likely the team will be on scene for several days. I know you have a lot of questions, but we don't have all the answers yet. We are working diligently to get those answers for you. We are grateful for the dedication and professionalism of the Northport Police Department, along with our partners from the state and local agencies. Complex investigations such as this cannot be accomplished by one agency alone, but there are just too many agencies to name them all here today. Portions of the Myakkahatchee Creek Environment Park and Carlton Reserve will remain closed to the public until further notice. This is an active and ongoing investigation, so we ask the public to maintain distance from any law enforcement personnel, equipment, vehicles, and other related activity for the safety of the public and to protect the integrity of our work. We have no additional comment related to today's activities. Our FBI Denver office is the lead investigative agency, and all future inquiries should be directed to them. We appreciate the tremendous support from the public and continue to ask for your assistance in bringing this investigation to close. Thank you.
Justice for Gabby! 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 Justice for Gabby!
Breaking news on
Well, there we have it, huh?
Here's JB Buno.
You hear the calls. Justice for Gabby. After the FBI announces information that we have been receiving over the last several hours. Partial human remains discovered here today at the Carlton Reserve near a backpack and a notebook a backpack and a notebook that might belong to Brian Laundrie, a scene that is now going to take several days for them to comb through, an evidence response team with the FBI and other law enforcement agencies here at the scene in Florida. Hey folks, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. Let's show you that area here again. You saw that there were folks there on lawn chairs. Yes, lawn chairs that have folks that have been outside of the Carlton Reserve, or really outside of Myakkahatchee Wall. Just goes to show how many people have been following this story around the world and wanting updates. And we were talking about it right before the press conference began. The answer that we wanted as far as the question that was hopefully going to be asked, and we didn't get an opportunity here to ask any questions, was, is this Brian Laundrie? We did not learn that here today.
We did not, and I would like to hear the sound again. Did he?
We know enough to know it's him. He was found with Brian's backpack and journal. The remains were. They can't tell by the looking. There's alligators and stuff there. He's bones. They found a backpack, pretty much. And what was left of a person. They might not let him in. I don't think they would. They'd make him stay way outside the perimeter there. I don't know where his parents are. Probably hiding like they have been the whole time. It sounds to me like it's him. Good riddance. Afternoon, Bob. Hi. How are you? It's good to see you. What do you think, Bob? You think it's him? I think it's him. I do. Why are they screaming justice for Gabby at the police like they're not trying? Well, let's see what this lady's losing her mind about.
The kind of language is being used here, but you can see that they're not shouting at police as much as they are shouting at photographers. Photographers
It looked
that
like
are here that are gathered.
the news conference ended with them chanting "Justice for Gabby" to the investigators. It kind of
I do
odd,
too.
I think. I get the frustration, but you're chanting to the investigators who are trying to figure out what they have, and the worst thing they could possibly do.
I thought they were going to
is
find
say
him dead
it's
this
Brian
whole time
Laundrie
because he's a
without
coward.
certainty, and then find out it's not.
Yeah.
That would be worse than us
So
doing
clearly,
I want to
that's what
clarify, I
he's
believe that we
gonna
can have it now that they did say the backpack and other items, the backpack and the notebook are items that belong to Brian Laundrie. And this is now consistent now with Stephen Bertolino's comments earlier on today that Chris and Roberta Laundrie were there at the reserve this morning. That's Brian Laundrie's parents participating in the search with the Carlton
They were
Reserve
there.
being open, with Myakkahatchee being open. Anyone can go. And Chris and Roberta Laundrie went to an area, as we understand it, that Brian Laundrie was known to have been in the past. They go to this area, and with the water receding, Mother Nature, with the water receding, it exposes something that wasn't, or at least was in an area that was previously underwater, exposes something that law enforcement or searchers had previously not seen there before.
Yeah, and
I think it is.
he did not say whether they had searched there before.
And he said
That's
that they found articles, and now we know more details of what those articles are.
And it would be interesting to know if they had searched that area before. We don't know that. It is at the entrance to the Myakkahatchee.
Myakkahatchee.
Correct that word. At the entrance there. But photographer Jim Hockett, who's been up in Eagle 8, although he's coming down now because there's a restriction now, he said the tent is in the reserve north of Myakkahatchee. So it must be where the two pieces of property are sort of join each other. Myakkahatchee is 160 acres. The reserve is 25.
They haven't had a chance to, forensically identify his remains yet, but the belongings that were found nearby are his. his backpack, his journal, all his stuff. I hope a gator ate him. I don't even feel bad. I hope a gator ate him.
I always want to hit that button here as far as going to our news chopper. Can't. Temporary flight restriction. The FAA has put it up, and we can't fly over Myakkahatchee right now. So news choppers, and I would imagine that TFR is going to be up for days, because if this is going to take days to comb through this scene, and forensics and the medical examiner's office and everyone going through this scene here to be textbook as far as their approach to handling what they have discovered at the Carlton Reserve, it is going to be it's going to be behind not closed doors, but you know what I mean. It's not going to be in view of the public because of the temporary flight restriction, and we can't get any cameras in there. The park itself is closed. I want to show you another live feed that we have up. Always tapping into as many live feeds as we can here. And yes, this folks know this front door quite well. This is the home in Northport, the home of Chris and Roberta Laundrie, Brian Laundrie's parents. They were at the reserve this morning. They are no longer there. As we understand it, we have been informed that they are home, and well, they are parents who, based on what we have learned at this stage, might have lost a child.
Yes.
We do not know whether or not those remains. Michael McPherson, the FBI agent who briefed the media, did not answer whether or not those remains are in fact Brian Laundrie's remains. They'll have
He
to
did
first go
infer.
and look and go through the process that they have.
I know how to read between the lines, but he did infer.
Inside this home right now are two parents who have, just like Joe Petito and just like Nicole Schmidt, might have lost. Well, they lost a child. Gabby's Petito's parents lost a child, but we could be dealing with another set of parents here in tremendous grief from potentially losing their child. A 23-year-old man, a 22-year-old woman that were engaged to be married. That is Justin Shecker there in front of the home. Justin Shecker, known to our WFLA Now audience as well. And there is so much difference between, I want to make this very clear, there is so much difference between what the Petito and Schmidt families experienced and what the Laundrie family experienced. They went through completely different experiences, but if this is Brian Laundrie, they are two parents now, and for Gabby's family, it's a 4 co-parenting unit with Tara and Jim in mind. It's 2 families now that are going through tremendous loss and are heartbroken over what has transpired over the last couple of months. You have to remember, July 2nd, Walt, they're embarking on a cross-country road trip. They're leaving together, seemingly in love, going across the country, experiencing the world. And here we are now. It's October 20th, and we find these partial human remains. And it's a story of tragedy. No matter how we got to this destination, the destination and the conclusion here, this is a tragic story, and one that we don't know. We're going to ask this to our audience. Are we any closer to finding out if there's going to be justice for Gabby Petito? I'd be very curious what our audience has to say about that.
You know, somebody on Twitter contacted me, just pointed out the notebook. If it is there,
I think God took care of justice for Gabby Petito.
If there are writings in there, will it be soaking wet and unreadable? If it's not soaking wet and it is readable, this is a guy who, there had been various media reports, had some really dark writings, had his music on Spotify, sort of dark leanings. He was reading this book that was a little dark, and you just wonder if what he expressed in that notebook, and what condition is the notebook. And keep this in mind: the FBI has every type of expert you can imagine. I covered a trial where
they should, but I doubt they will.
Expert who could determine
they'll act like their
that
kid
one piece of duct tape came from a roll that was found in the back of a suspect's trunk. So they have ways, I'm sure, to examine paper that we can't imagine. We keep saying this isn't a TV show, but some of those things you see on TV, those things are real. So
some of those TV shows, like I'm just gonna throw this one out there, Forensic Files, these are rooted in real cases. Absolutely. And real tactics employed by law enforcement.
So I mean that notebook becomes extremely important if there are writings about this case, because when people want justice for Gabby, I'd like to what does that mean? Does that mean they want Brian Laundrie tried and to face a jury? Or, I don't know what justice means in this case. I know what it means literally as an adjudication, which we may not get if this is Brian Laundrie. But what do they mean, justice for Gabby? Like, dive into that for me. What do we mean by that? Do we want Brian Laundrie prosecuted? Is that what it means? Or is it, do we want to know why? Why did he do it? When did he do it? How did he do it? Or what made him do it? What is his motive, if there is one? Does the notebook lend us to that? We'll find out.
Justice to me, and I'll just share what I feel, and I'm very curious. I know that Gabby Petito's family has been watching our streams all day. If Gabby's family is watching, hello there to you guys. I've been in contact with them, but justice to me is there's a sense of balance that comes in with justice. A heinous act occurs, and then what is done to counteract that? What is done in the aftermath of that heinous act to balance out the scales? You've seen it, of course, in textbooks, and you've seen it, of course, in iconography. The scales of justice, right?
Right.
What does that look like going forward now as far as the Justice for Gabby cause? What we're going to do is we're going to open up the WFLA Now Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter comment sections.
Yeah, me too.
We're going to feature your comments.
I said that to begin with. I said that when he was still at that house.
Or hashtag HeyWalt. We'll be here with you live for a bit longer. We're going to stay here with you live. We have just such a large audience here, and we want to try to get to as many questions and comments as possible. But where does this fit into the Justice for Gabby cause? You heard at the end of the press conference the cries for justice for Gabby. Where are we with this? Where are we? Are we farther from justice? Is justice eluding this cause, or are we closer to justice? I'd like to hear your comments here on the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on Twitter in those comment sections, and we can feature your comments here on screen.
What does justice mean? I'd like more than just.
I mean, do people need justice explained to them? I don't think we do. Do we? Hang on, I was trying to change my thing, but it won't let me. So I hope it's still running well. Oh no, I'm froze up. Well, I hope you guys can see something. I mean, if he's dead, I think Gabby has her justice, really. That's fair. I do believe. It's what I wanted the whole time. If he's dead, I'm satisfied. I don't think we need to have the whole thing explained to us. I mean, I think we know what went on. I mean, we don't have the specifics, but he lost his temper. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is justice for Gabby, him being found dead, or do you think it looks like something else?
Grab your comment from social media, and we can feature it here and animate it here on screen. If you do not want your picture and your profile picture, your name and your comment to be featured on screen, just don't use the hashtag, and we'll let your comment scroll idly on by up screen. But we're going to start now by taking your comments. While I look for some of these comments here, Walt, what do you think the response is going to be to what we have just learned from the FBI? I would imagine the first thing that people are going to say is, we want more information, we want to know more, but this has been a story that has tugged at the emotional hearts of so many people. Where do you think the public is after?
They're not happy. There's no doubt they're not happy. But I hope, there's as many unreasonable comments as I've seen out there. There are also a lot of reasonable people who have some empathy, like we talked about for the Laundries, about the protests in front of it. And then there are others who say, no, protest. They did something wrong. We know they did. So I hope people understand that, there's an old saying in journalism, get it first. Get it right. And there's nothing more that would be more have a bigger negative impact than if the FBI sort of said, "Oh yeah, we think it's Brian Laundrie," or "It's Brian Laundrie," and then it turns out to not be Brian Laundrie, and that just can't happen.
Yeah, that's what I
So
think too. I'd be quite
and
happy
he
if
said
that's
it's
what
a
happened to him.
complicated case. That
what he
particular
deserved.
FBI agent is out of the Tampa office. This is a Denver-led investigation.
She got killed by a
So
predator,
again,
and
he
so
does
did
not
he.
want to speak for Denver,
I'd
and
be
I'm
happy
sure
with
Denver wants to make sure they know exactly whose body this is, because and that means the search continues, right? The search continues, and that if again, I think tipsters should realize if you see Brian Laundrie, the tip should still come in, right? I mean, let's be logical here. We don't know that that's Brian Laundrie. We know it's a backpack. We know it's a notebook, but we don't know that's Brian Laundrie. And I think people will be frustrated, but they should understand the investigation takes its time because they want to make sure it's right and accurate.
Let's start with the.
I think we do know it's Brian Laundrie. It was found with, unless he killed somebody and put their remains there with his backpack. It's Brian Laundrie. That's what I say. Hi, Justice Seeker. I'm convinced it's him. My streaming software has messed up and I can't switch it back to my camera. So, that's always nice. Hello, kitty. But yeah, thanks for coming and checking it out. In my opinion, he's dead. I think he's dead. You're not happy about it? Well, I think if he's dead, that's justice. I do. You really want to drag your family through a whole trial and everything else? It's probably what they want. They just probably want him dead. He was a coward. I knew he was going to be dead. Because that's his style. What are you doing, cutie? Oh, the cat is trying to control things now. Not good. He is a coward. I think he killed himself. And then he Gatorade him. Yeah, but now they don't have, if he's dead, they don't have to go to parole hearings and all that shit. They can just move on. His parents probably knew he went out there to kill himself. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do. We're still trying to grow here, and we'd love to have you. I think you might have murdered them too. I think that's possible. We'll find out about it. Yeah, be sure to subscribe and give the video a like, and leave a comment if you feel so inclined. If it's nasty though, you're just wasting your time. So y'all have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you, Justice. Thanks everybody for coming. You have a great day. Bye.